The witch and her student. Mrs. Sevka had son named Zeki. No matter which school Mrs. Sevka sent her, Zeki always runs away. Where I should you where I should I send you to school? So you feel at home, Zeki? Asked Mrs. Sevka, confused. Don't send me again, ma'am. Just accompany to find vocational school. If I find a school like I won't run away. Mrs. Sevka finally took Zeki to the center of vocational school. In that place, there are many men doing various handcraft, making carpets, sewing clothes, making wall lamps. Among them, there is also a magician named Bosmak. Zeki is very interested in seeing Bosmak's skill. Mom, I want to learn magic at which Bosmak plays, Zeki said. Mrs. Sevka finally took Zeki to the witch place and told Bosmak her son's wish. The magician agreed to make Zeki his apprentice. Time passed, and Zeki grew into the adult young man. He had learned everything his teacher taught him. One day, Bosmak said, I will turn myself into a ram. Take me to the market and sell me. But remember, keep the reins off my neck. Zeki broke his teacher reincarnated sheep and sold them in the market. A man bought the lamb for the 500 piastres, and his teacher ordered Zeki keep the bridge of sheep neck. At night, Bosmak transformed back into his human form. He ran away from the sheep buyer and went home. The next day, Bosmak said his student, I will turn myself into a horse. Take me and sell me, but keep the reins. Zeki took the horse to the market and sold it. Someone bought it for 1,000 piastres. Zeki kept the horse bridle and broke it home. But when he arrived at his teacher's house, Zeki thought, no, I know to make money. I want to try it myself. Zeki immediately returned to his mother's house and said, Mom, I have learned all the magic. Now I know how to make a lot of money. Poor Sevka's mother didn't understand what Zeki meant. He said, My son, what are you going to do? Don't make trouble for mother. Tomorrow I will turn myself into a stud of girl carrying the fountain jug. You can sell it, but remember, mother, don't sell the ribbon tied around the jug, because I might get lost. Meanwhile, Bosmak managed to escape from the horse buyer stable. He returned home and does not find Zeki. Bosmak is furious when he sees his neck strap lying on the table. And she said, Useless student, if someone takes this robe, I can become a horse for life. Wait for my revenge. The next morning, Bosmak went to look for his student. Meanwhile, at the pond in the clearing, Zeki transformed herself into a stud of girl carrying a fountain jug. His mother saw it at occasion. The crowd gathered around the pond, amazed at the beauty of the girls too. Bosmak is in the crowd. he could immediately guess that the statue of the girl was incarnation of his student. He joined the crowd and joined in making the highest bid. Bosmark always gave a higher bid. Finally, the statue of a girl managed to become his. Mr. Sepka opened the ribbon in the water jug and said, "The ribbon is not for sale." Bosmark saw the pile of money. "I won't pay you unless you hand over the ribbon too." Mrs. Sepka looked at the ribbon and thought, "It doesn't seem important." Mrs. Sepka finally stretched the ribbon into Bosmark's hand. At the time, Zeki hurriedly transformed himself into a bird and flew away. And Bosmark turned himself into a bird to catch after Zeki. The two of them flew far away until they arrived at another city. Zeki incarnation bear arrived at the palace garden where the Sultan was sulking leisurely. A pet eagle perched on his shoulder. Zeki turned himself into a beautiful rose and fell at the feet of the Sultan. Sultan was surprised to see the rose because the spring has not yet arrived. I never seen a flower as fragrant as this," he said. At the moment Bosmark arrived at the park as well, he returned to his human form, played that harp while singing a song. Sultan was interested and told him to sing a few more songs. After a few songs he had sung, Bosmark politely said, "May I have a rose in return for my songs?" Sultan was very angry. "Don't you know this most beautiful and touching rose I ever had? How dare you ask?" Bosmark tried to persuade with sweet words. "Forgive me, Your Majesty. I'm just a poor moody singer. I travel around the world instead for that beautiful rose." Unexpectedly, the rose was in the Sultan's gentle hands. "Only the rose can make my life cheerful again." The Sultan was moved. "What does this song mean to me?" the traveler really needed. The Sultan finally gave the flower to Bosmark, but before the magician could hold it, the rose fell to the ground and turned into barley grains of chicken food. Bosmark immediately turned himself into a chicken and pecked at the grains, but he did not see a grain of barley that fell under the feet of the Sultan. The barn suddenly turned into Zeki, who choked the chicken suddenly. At the moment the Sultan pet eagle saw the chicken, he flew and grabbed Bosma's reincarnated chicken, then carried it away somewhere. The Sultan was very astonished to see the miracle. Zeki told the origin of an incident. The Sultan was very impressed. Then he invited Zeki to stay in his palace and become a palace magician. Zeki is very happy because he can invite his mother to live in that palace too. He was relieved because now he could be a good magician who did deceive others with the magician abilities. His ability was used to help many peoples.